Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys some updated analysis inside of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets. With all of the talk around World War III starting to take place, countries invading each other, there's a lot of uncertainty inside the markets, and it's caused a lot of people to expect that new all-time lows are going to be coming. I wanted to share with you guys why I actually think that this couldn't be further from the truth, why the markets are actually showing that a reversal is going to be taking place now if it hasn't already, and how there's one crypto out there that I'm watching for that I think is going to be taking off in a very big way over the next couple months. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys join the Discord server or download my free ebook. Links are going to be provided for you in the description, whether you want to join my community or simply learn some more about trading. Links are going to be provided for you in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so to start off this video, I think the best thing to talk about is the most recent bounce that we're seeing inside of Bitcoin. Now I haven't been uploading as much on the channel just simply because we haven't had a clear break one way or another. There's no point in me sitting here making the same video talking about the same thing repeated over and over when I would rather just wait for confirmation. Now we haven't quite got confirmation yet, but we have had a major advancement inside of this most recent Bitcoin consolidation. So as you guys know, let's zoom it out here a little further. As you guys already know, something that I've personally been watching for is that this entire consolidation here is just a higher time frame consolidation before we actually get a much larger move to the upside. I've been very adamant about explaining that I believe this entire consolidation is what's taking us into the final blow off top of this cycle. You guys already know that. That's nothing new from this point, but I wanted you guys to remember that because this is why I haven't made a video in so long. There's no point in me once again talking about the same thing. But I did want to talk about it today because we have had a major advancement inside of this consolidation that we're seeing here. So as you guys already know, the most recent couple weeks, we've been going through this period of consolidation where we finally found a support low here at the end of January at about $33,000. We rallied back up, but then we've had another recent attempt at retesting that major support level. We didn't come all the way back down to about 33,000. We stopped just a little bit higher at about 34.5, but we're starting to see a nice reaction to the upside. Now, this reaction isn't anything close to being done quite yet. We really need to see a couple different things take place here. Now, first off, let's draw a little box right here, and let's look at this. So first off, this is the box that I'm going to be looking at. Let's draw it just a little bit lower here. This is where I'm going to be looking at for us to actually find a resistance level. Now, whether we pull back where we're at now, or if we even come back up and retest even higher into this, it doesn't change anything. The big thing to understand is we're still facing a lot of resistance above. And so this thing could pop up, it could chop back down around, and then we could go up higher. But the point is, I think we could still see quite a bit of chop here before we're fully done. The big thing I'm watching for, if we can get above about 40,800, pretty much right where we're at right now today, if we can get above this little level and hold support, something like this where we're sitting above it, in my opinion, that would signal the early reversal point. But if we get stuffed at this resistance and then we come back down, just understand that we could very easily see a whole nother week or two of a lot more of this type of choppy action. You know, it's really not confirmed one way or another, but the thing that I want you guys to remember on the bigger time frames, when we zoom out, we're still sitting here faced with a load of hidden bullish divergence. Remember guys, what we're seeing on the RSI is lower lows, and what we're seeing in the price is actually higher highs. And so when we see two reactions like this, see this wick right there, see this wick right there, these are two different attempts at this same support level that every time we hit this level, you know, approximately $33,000, buyers step in and we immediately get a reaction to the upside. Even when the sellers dropped it back down to retest that level again, we see another wick that came in here. That's showing that there is buyers that are stepping in at these levels. What took place over here? What are all of these little moves right here? All of these on the higher time frames are simply just wicks. And what happened to the price shortly after? Well, we bounced up and made a new all-time high. Even though we've come back down and we're retesting that support level roughly once again, it doesn't change anything. The point that I'm trying to share with you guys is that there's a lot of people stepping in at this level to accumulate Bitcoin. There's not people selling it unless you're just simply an idiot. Because a lot of what we're seeing inside of the charts, a lot of what we're seeing inside of the TA, the price action, is showing us that this is not really what you'd see inside of a bearish continuation structure. Inside of a blow off top, what you're going to see is something happen really quickly, right? If we look at what happened in 2017, in a matter of a month and a half, we shot all the way up here, and this was the blow off top, right? It was a big move into new all-time highs, and there wasn't very many pullbacks on that way up. We haven't seen that yet, guys, and this top wasn't, it wasn't like what we've seen in previous cycle tops, where a cycle top ends in one big euphoric push, and then it starts a new bear market. This thing had a big collapse, and then it rallied back up to make a new all-time high. This is nothing like any bear market that we've ever seen. And that's why I'm really confident that this is ultimately going to create one more large move to the upside. And when we look at the total market cap, in my opinion, this chart looks a lot better than Bitcoin. And I oftentimes go over to the market cap charts. It might even be, for example, let's say I'm looking at the price chart of XRP. If there's levels that I'm trying to analyze, support and resistance levels, descending resistances, trend lines, things like that, I'll always go over to the market cap chart because they have a much easier to follow chart. The price action follows levels a lot better than the dollar charts do. And I'll explain what I mean by that right here. So this is kind of the same chart that I've been sharing with you guys about. What I've been talking about is the same hidden bullish divergence, where whenever you see the RSI make a lower low, we can see that it's downtrending. It's making lower lows and lower highs throughout this period, but the price is actually making higher highs and higher lows. This is an uptrend, right? This is a downtrend. When you see this type of divergence, it shows that there's a lot of buyers stepping into the market. If the market is uptrending, making higher highs and higher lows, we can see this is an uptrend. We'll make it green so it's easy to tell. This is an uptrend, right? Higher highs and higher lows. This is uptrending. Well, inside of a downtrending market, you're not going to see this RSI, inside of an uptrending market, on average, you're not going to see the RSI make lower lows. That's something that takes place before a big move to the upside. And that's something I want you guys to understand. The last time we had a significant divergence like this takes us all the way back to the capitulation of March of 2020. Notice this big move here. We have this support level at about 163 billion market cap. And then we sold off about 30% below that, all the way back down to about 109 billion in market cap. Well, if we draw a support level here, notice how we didn't even make a lower low on the RSI. This is also an example of divergence. When you're seeing lower lows in price or higher highs in price, because it can go both ways. In this case, we saw a lower low in price, but we see the RSI, it made a higher high, or at the very least, it didn't break below that support. That shows that even though the sellers were able to push the whole price down another 30%, the momentum indicators are showing us that, really it hasn't really lost bullish momentum, or it hasn't really changed. The momentum has stayed the same, right? It's kind of in an equilibrium point. Well, the same thing can be said, amongst a number of these consolidation patterns. We've seen this play out a number of times. This right now is just a different example of what we saw here. You can see it in uptrending markets. Notice how the price made a lower low here, but it's maintained support on the RSI. Well, in this cycle, we're seeing higher highs in price and we're seeing lower lows on the RSI. So it's a different form of divergence. This is called hidden bullish divergence. This would have been This would have been bullish divergence here. This is hidden bullish divergence here, right? And so we're seeing two different structures, but both of these are pointing to the same thing. Remember what happened down here. We made a lower low in price, but the RSI maintained support. That is what took us into that big move that we saw there. Well, we haven't seen this take place until, once again, right here in this big consolidation. In my opinion, it's ultimately going to be taking us into this type of move. It's very, very similar to what we saw in that last cycle in 2017. And that's why I want you guys to remember, somebody that's been around the cycles, that was here and traded the entire one in 2016 and 2017. I remember watching this consolidation pattern. I remember it chopping up a lot of people. The one that we're in today is even more choppy than this one, because keep in mind, guys, in 2017, we made higher highs and higher lows, right? Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. This big consolidation pattern was all higher highs. There never was a big sideways consolidation like we see today. But the RSI here, look at this. This is the point I'm trying to make. What does the RSI do? Notice how the RSI makes a lower low, right? So that's a downtrend. We'll make it red so you guys can see. But what is up here happening in the price? Well, the price is making higher highs and higher lows, but the RSI is making lower lows and lower highs, right? So we're seeing roughly the same thing that we're seeing inside of today's consolidation, but it took place in 2017. This is almost the exact same type of consolidation pattern. And if we come over here and look at Bitcoin, you guys will see what I mean here. Let's draw this same little pattern. It's roughly the exact same pattern where we have a lower high. We're kind of forming inside of this contracting triangle, kind of like a falling wedge, I guess you could say. And this is very similar to what we saw here in that 2017 cycle. A little bit different. This was more of not so much a wedge, but a flag. But it's the same universal truth that I'm trying to share with you guys. The RSI is a pattern that I always follow inside of indicators because, in my opinion, it's one of the most accurate indicators that we have for judging reversals and momentum shifts. What we saw in 2017 was this same exact shift that took place before that final blow off top. And so I've been super adamant about explaining to you guys that I believe this is the move that's coming next, this big blow off top here. And I want you guys to once again continue to hold to that same thesis, because when this thing takes place, it's going to happen quicker than people expect. You know, a lot of people are going to get left behind in the process, but the people that are aware of it before it happens are going to be the ones that are willing to hold through the period of time. And so this is kind of the analysis I wanted to give you guys, just as a way to share with you guys what I think is actually going to be taking place for us to close out, you know, the end of this cycle. I don't know the time frames because, once again, my personal time frames were invalidated because we didn't top at the end of the year. You guys already know that when it comes to my trading plan, I'm not following off the time frames anymore because I was actually proven wrong. What I still expect is the final rally of the cycle. And so, you know, I'm just going to do my part by taking profits as we go up into this move. I don't know how high it's going to get. My personal long-term target for the crypto total market cap is anywhere from 10 to 12 trillion. So it'll look, you know, about like this. This is kind of what I'm expecting to play out from here. I wanted to give you guys this update, just a way to share, map out some thoughts and concerns. Haven't updated it in a while. Once again, not much has changed. That's why I haven't updated. But there's one final thing I want to talk to you guys about today's video for the people that have actually waited this long, and that is talking about a really cool crypto that I'm excited about personally. I've got a little bit of skin in the game, not a whole lot. It was a little bit more of a risky type of play, but it's up in profit, and I wanted to share this with you guys because I think that this is one of those meme coins that has the potential of doing some really big gains as we get towards the end of this cycle. And so what I wanted to share with you guys today is called MRI. Also known as Marshall Rogan Inu. So if you guys aren't familiar with Marshall Rogan, Marshall is Joe Rogan's dog. If you guys don't know who Joe Rogan is, look him up, because you probably will if you look him up. Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast. He's basically the biggest influencer in the history of social media of all time. He does the commentary for the UFC fights and all of that fun stuff. Well, somebody came along and they created this community-driven project called Marshall Rogan Inu. And basically what it is they take fees from the transactions of the crypto, and then they basically take those fees to pay fighters for winning fights. So anybody in the UFC, if you guys aren't familiar with the UFC, one of the little things inside of the UFC that's been going on for a long time, a little bit of drama, is that Dana White, the man who runs the UFC, he doesn't pay their fighters enough. So there's all this drama that these fighters are going in, they're beating themselves up, and they're not getting paid enough to do it. Well, this is where MRI comes into the play. They've already came out and they've paid multiple fighters for winning their fights. So what they're doing is they're basically taking anywhere from about $5,000 to $10,000, and they're taking that to pay fighters for winning their fights. And so it's literally just a crypto. It started off as a meme. They got a ton of popularity. It's got a ton of volume now that's taken off because they're just out there paying fighters. And so a lot of professional UFC fighters have come out to support them. The most notable name out there is Chael Sonnen. If you guys aren't familiar with him, go look him up. He's just a big OG in the MMA space. But Chael Sonnen, he's actually been on the Twitter Spaces. He's been talking. There's been a number of other UFC fighters inside the Twitter Spaces talking about this. And I think that this is one of those that has a real potential of being a big winner. You guys already know that Shiba Inu was one of the best performing cryptos, if not the best performing crypto of this cycle. The reason it took off was just because of the community driving the hype. All it took off was from one tweet with Elon Musk talking about SHIB. This isn't just a meme coin. They are actually out there paying fighters. They are actually doing a lot of cool stuff. And so that's why I've actually went ahead and bought. If you're wondering where I bought, it was at this blue line. I bought over here at about 32, 33 cents approximately. I don't know the exact entry I got, but it was right here at this blue line. I posted signals in the Discord, and then it dumped shortly after. I didn't buy anymore. I'm still holding. But it actually pumped pretty nicely over the last couple days. Now, there's going to be some new fights that are coming up. I believe this coming weekend is when we're going to see the fights. It's supposed to be a pretty stacked card, so we should see a lot of big names in there, and I do believe that there's going to be a few of those guys that are openly going to be promoting MRI. And so if you guys are looking for a meme coin with a community that has the potential to really send this thing, personally, I think MRI has a big shot of doing that. Keep in mind, guys, this is not sponsored whatsoever. I'm actually doing this because I actually believe in the project. I've always been a big UFC supporter, and this is one of those that I do see a lot of community involvement with, and so that's why I am actually going to be buying this. Now, well, I already bought it, but for you guys that are looking for an entry right now, I will say that you're going to have a harder time knowing when that good time is, because basically what we've done, we just flipped the previous all-time highs here. We flipped it to support. So this thing is just in price discovery. If you're waiting to buy this, whenever a market goes into price discovery, I literally tell everybody the same thing. First off, it's not going to be the greatest risk to reward because you don't even know what's going to happen from here. You're buying at a local high. This is pretty much at an all-time high. So the risk is way higher with buying a crypto right now. With that being said, this thing is still it's about 50 million in market cap, somewhere right around that area. Okay, 63 million in market cap. So it just crossed 50 million in market cap. So it's still pretty small. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you are going to be buying this, remember that it's still a pretty small market cap. I'm personally buying this with the potential of it hitting $1 billion in market cap. I'm kind of going boom or bust with this one. I think it has a lot of potential because there are so many new UFC fighters promoting it. And what's cool is if you guys just go look this up on YouTube or follow them on Twitter and go look through their tweets that they've made, you'll see that a few UFC fighters have already been paid for this. A few UFC fighters, after they won their fight, they're up there and the announcer or whatever is interviewing them and they're talking and they're literally shouting out MRI live on TV. So that's why I think that this one actually has the potential of being a big winner. It's not your typical meme coin where there's really nothing backing it. This one actually does have a huge community engagement, and that is the most important thing with crypto. You could have the greatest fundamental coin, and you could have a coin that's a complete and total meme, but if the meme coin has a stronger community, it will do better than the strong fundamental coin each and every time. And that's what I think could be playing out once again. And so the big thing I want you guys to be aware of is if you are buying it now, you're buying it at a local high. I'm not saying that it can't go a lot higher because it definitely can. But, I mean, it is dipping right now. If we can get a deeper dip, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to about 57 cents. That could be a good opportunity to get in. Even right now, might not be the best opportunity. I'm not really telling you guys to go out and buy this. I'm not trying to give you guys an exact entry because I've already bought this earlier. I didn't know if it was going to take off, but it's taken off. And this is one that I do think can go a lot higher from where I bought it. I pretty much bought the top before this correction. I'm just going to keep holding what I have. We could get a little bit more chop inside of here. But for the most part, considering we did just flip the all-time high, and then this coming week we're going to have a lot of big fights that are coming on. Chances are if MRI gets a shout out, which it probably will on TV, this thing will go higher. So that's my thoughts. I wanted to give you guys this one because I think it's a good opportunity. I'm invested into it. My group's invested into it. You guys do your own research, but I wanted to give you guys this as a way to really just show a potential trend, a potential narrative that I think could be a big one over the next couple months. So anyways, guys, if you found value in this, you guys want to learn more, I'm going to link everything in the description. If you guys want to learn more about this, this is their website. I'll actually link this on their website. I'll link this as well so you guys can actually go ahead and find their socials. So if you guys do want all the information, it will be linked inside of the description. Go ahead, check it out, do your own research. Once again, this is not sponsored. This is just me finding a good opportunity that I think could take off. So if you guys found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or download my free ebook, links are in the description for that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.